To provide some context for my story, you have to understand that I'm a lifeguard, I'm a swimming teacher, and I spend a lot of my time teaching 3- and 4-year-olds how to swim. And the thing is that it's a very anxious time for both the children and the parents, because it's typically the first time that the children are getting in the water without their parents, and they have to deal with this stranger. But the instance that I'm thinking of, it has two parts to it. And the first part was, I was teaching this girl. It was the first day of lessons. She was about 3 or 4 years old, and she would refuse to get in the water with me on the first day after I did attendance because I'm a boy. And you have to remember, at the time I had long hair down to my shoulders, and while all the parents were trying to help console the mom who was so embarrassed from the ordeal, and I had supervisors trying to convince the girl to get in the water with me. So I just crawled over to her, I sat down on my bum, and I looked at her and I said, "You can pretend I'm a girl if you want. Like, I've got the long hair, my name's Jamie, it's pretty much a girl's name. So you can just pretend I'm a girl that just wears a different bathing suit." And she bought it. She got in the water. She had a blast, and I actually ended up developing a really close relationship with his family whenever they come to the pool. That was about 4 or 5 years ago. Whenever they come to the pool, they go out of their way to talk to me. I always say hi to her. But the second part of that story actually comes about a month later when I was teaching her again. It was just the same level. She was with another group of 3- and 4-year-olds who were experiencing it for the first time. And one of the other little girls was having the same anxiety attack and was latching onto her mom's pant leg and wouldn't let her go, and she was crying. The mom didn't know what to do. Her face was red. And so I did the same thing. I crawled up to her. I sat down on my bum and was about to go into the whole "you can pretend I'm a girl" thing. But before I did that, the girl that I had taught prior, who was also in the lesson again, comes up to her and she takes her hand and she says, "It's okay, you don't have to be scared. I had Jamie last time and he's actually a lot of fun." She pulled on my hair and she said, "You can pretend he's a girl, he's got long hair, and his name's Jamie." And she grabbed her hand. She said that she could hold her hand all day and that they'd be friends. And she got in the water no problem after that. And when she got in there, and it was almost like she pushed me out of the way. She's just like, "Don't worry, I got this." And she just took her hand. And what that kind of showed to me is that compassion is a very fundamental human emotion that for whatever reason it's suppressed, and I couldn't begin to explain why that is, but the fact that it was so natural for her to do. She didn't know this girl, and she had no connection to her, and I think everybody that was involved, including the girl's mother, they were really taken aback by how easily this girl came up to a total stranger and just helped her out to get her into the water.
I started to become really curious about the Holocaust and all of that. And well, I guess that's really shocking to an innocent young mind to realize that human beings can behave that way towards each other. So it made just an incredible impact on me, and I just couldn't deal with it really. And I started to stay outside in the garden and get really, really cold, and I felt guilty about how much food we had in our house. And I heard that they, in the concentration camps, had been eating worms and insects and stuff, and I started to do that to see how it felt like, because that was one of those facts that just horrified me. And this went on for a while, and I think to begin with, my parents just sort of thought it was a child's development thing and just kind of let me be. But it started to get kind of out of hand, and then my dad came out into the garden one time, and he sort of asked me what I thought I was doing and benefiting, who I thought I was helping by doing this. And I said I didn't really know, but I just had to do something. And he said, in a very nice way, he said that he was pleased that he had such a compassionate child who felt other people's pain, but that there are other, when you feel these big feelings, you have to be able to translate them. And then he sort of suggested that I could perhaps do a project at school or raise some awareness, because even though the people died like 50 years ago, you can't go back and change that. But maybe you can, tell your peers about it. And so it ended up in our class, he spoke to the teachers, and we ended up doing this whole project about the Holocaust and raising money to send to some of the survivors, because there were still survivors then. And that's my story, and it has been a big life lesson for me that I still remind myself of sometimes. Everyone can feel these big feelings, and everyone does, but you can be destructive about it or constructive about it. And it's really important, because all children are just so compassionate, right? But you can teach them how to act on that. Because it's no use just sitting around torturing yourself. You can do some really great things with it, or you can do some really bad things with it.
My story is about my parents. They were very compassionate. They helped me my whole life. I will tell you that I had a brother. He is no more now. So in Indian families, what they do, the girls are treated less nicely, and boys are treated more nicely. But my parents were very good. They treated us equally, and they cared for me more than him. So they were very loving parents. They loved me very much. So when I got married, I was only 18.5 years old, and my in-laws family lived far away in Punjab province. So I had nobody in my family to help us. Me and my husband both were living together. Then after 1 year, I got one son. Then after 3 years, another son, and one more daughter. So my mother, she took care of me in all the deliveries. She raised my children. She took them to school, and she was so good. I was working in the government office. I had no time to look for my children. So she, at night also, she was the mother. She used to run to the doctor whenever any child got sick. So I cannot repay her. So my father was also very good. He hired one architect and one masons and laborers, and he made a house for me, which is still in New Delhi. And all the memories are in the walls and windows and every door, because he got that all custom made. So my husband, he is wonderful. You know, when I got married, I was only 10th grade pass. With the help of my husband, I passed my departmental examination. He used to tell me, you go and study your books, I will do the cooking. And my mom also used to come from her home every day. She used to cook, wash dishes, and do the laundry, and take the children to school, then do their homework with them. Oh, I cannot tell you how great my parents were. So I cannot forget them. My parents are no more, and my brother is no more, but I still love them. And I would like to tell you that because of my mother, I was able to upgrade my studies. Like, I was only 10th grade when I got married, and with the help of my husband, I got departmental examinations done, and I was promoted on merit basis. I became an officer when I came here in 1991. So with the help of my mom, I was able to do my MA Economics along with my daughter in the correspondence courses. So I don't know that whether anybody has such great parents. So I cannot tell you. I would like to do the same for my grandchildren,